Okay, everybody, welcome back to U.S. Virgin Islands International Chess. Today's video is going to be a special video broadcasted by myself to you guys at home and abroad at U.S. Virgin Islands Chess, everywhere else. Guys, there's a very controversial issue going on right now in the chess world, and it's also kind of having an effect on the public too. Many people who don't even really spend too much time with chess are putting a lot of their time into solving the puzzle and the riddle of Hans-Moke Niemann, who is a grandmaster. He just received his third grandmaster norm and therefore his title in North Carolina at Charlotte CCCA Academy, where they annually hold chess norms for international masters and grandmasters. Okay, so you may be asking, what is a norm, this and that, for those who aren't so familiar to my channel and what we talk about at ISV International Chess. So we'll give a little insight on that now. Guys, in order to get a title in international chess, FIDE or USCF, you have to complete a series of norms or tournaments, and you have to pay X amount of dollars to go and compete against other title players. And depending on how you do against those title players, you can then be eligible to receive a title depending on how you do against others who are very high rated. Okay, so the point is that in 2022, you may be asking, well, what does this have to do with this scandal that you may be talking about, Colin? Well, there is a investigation going on involving Hans-Moke Niemann and his alleged cheating. Hans-Moke Niemann is a 19-year-old German, and German is his first language. He speaks with an accent. He's going publicly and letting everybody know that he's very upset about people not liking his accent, and he's letting people know, first off, that he has cheated before. Hans-Moke Niemann has admitted to cheating before in online matches. Chess.com has revealed to the public that he had to serve a year-long ban in order to basically, have to suffer a punishment for using engines. And Hans explains that he did this in order to play against higher-rated players. He didn't do it to increase his rating level. He didn't do it to, gain a certain image on chess.com. He did it so that he could play against higher rated players, so he could get more experience and eventually transcend those, solutions that he found against higher rated, stronger players, and then take that to over the board chess. Chess.com said, nay, we're going to give you the ban. So he served the ban, and now he is playing on chess.com again. But what are we really here to talk about today, guys? Well, the game that we have here to look at is the game, as we look in all my videos, we look at chess games, right? We study them, we analyze them. I show you guys my personal games from the FIDE Online Arena and LeeChess.com. Today, we are going to look at Hans-Moke Niemann's game against Magnus Carlsen, current world champion, #1 in classical chess since 2013, with a whopping rating of 2,860 something now. Carlsen's peak rating, as we know, guys, was 2,882, the highest achieved FIDE classical rating in history by known records. Guys, this game was just played last week at the Sinqufield Cup. The Sinqufield Cup is held in St. Louis, Missouri at the Chess Club in St. Louis. I knew I'd say St. Croix there. Anyways, so at the event, Carlsen and Shakhriar of Azerbaijan, and Alireza Firouzja, and Fabiano Caruana, and Levon Aronian, and Hans-Moke Niemann was also invited. And I believe we're missing one more. Who was the other? Okay, so 6 total and 9 rounds. Alireza Firouzja went on to play Jan Nepomniachtchi. That was the other one. World Chess Championship challenger for the upcoming FIDE World Chess Championship, which is coming up very shortly. He will be playing against Ding Liren, China's #1. and the highest rated player of 2022 on average. So that will be very interesting. Let's focus on the investigation, what we're talking about against this stuff, because it's really serious stuff, guys, right? We're in 2022. We're going to enter 2023 very soon. And it's come to my attention here from one of our subscribers that we need to talk about the fishy PGN threads and what was being read by certain, how we could read into the coding. When we go over some of these games from the Charlotte Foundation in North Carolina, when we go over these games, guys, if you want to check out some of these games, there's plenty of content online. Today we're not going to go over his games, Hans-Moke Niemann's games, which many people are attesting to his cheating at an over-the-board Grandmaster norm. So they're saying a lot of FIDE masters, a lot of chess masters are overlooking his games, and they're saying that not only is he playing the top engine moves in lines of 5 to 6 moves, 7 moves in a row, and then making a not engine move. So he is going ahead. They're accusing him. Many chess players, advanced chess players, are saying that he is using engines not only to improve his game, but also to get results, which is cheating, right? And he's doing this in a fashion where he's getting very quick results. If you guys look at that tournament and you want to look in more to the investigation, to look at Hans-Moke Niemann and his games at that third Grandmaster norm, which happened in 2020, when he received his Grandmaster norm 2 years ago, he was defeating 2400 level players around his ELO, but playing at a stockfish level of about 3000 or so, okay? All the top lines, Seni pawn loss at like 3.5 or 4 after 20 moves have been played. Guys, typically we see a Seni pawn loss of like double digits, 18, 20, even at the elite Grandmaster level, 2700 level plus, right? Those guys, the Levan Aronians, the Shakir Mamadiyaros, the Fabiano Caruanas, right, Wesley So's of the world, they always average in double digits in a Seni pawn loss, and Hans-Moke Niemann is gaining his Grandmaster norm and playing perfect engine moves. How is he doing it, and what mechanisms is he using? Well, at the Sinqufield Cup, guys, they had to go through security. Hans-Moke Niemann was forced to go through security, patted down. They used the device to check him, his person, to see if anything came up and was detected in the security check. However, it turns out that he did not have any devices on him, so on and so forth. So what other element of surprise is he using to fool the chess world into believing that he is a strong 2700 level plus Grandmaster, and that he became a 2700 plus level Grandmaster in classical chess within about 2 years? Most of these guys at the top level, guys, have played their entire lives, became Grandmasters at 15, 16, 17, and now they're in their 30s and they've seen everything. So, it makes sense that, that they are where they are. But for Hans to reach 2700, over 2700 now, although he is not at 2700 anymore after the Sinqufield Cup, he ended up getting some very poor results at the end of the tournament. And during his interviews, he seems to bash a lot of the players and say some very inappropriate comments, as well as after this game, which we're about to show in this video, after this defeat against Carlsen, Hans-Moke Niemann was interviewed in St. Louis, and he said the chess speaks for itself, and he walked off and was very rude and very inappropriate. So it appears as though that maybe his character is kind of showing us, that maybe he's, not exactly all fair. I think there's going to be an ongoing investigation about this, guys. So Hans-Moke Niemann is being accused. He's already admitted to cheating. He's already been convicted of cheating by chess.com. I mean, what's stopping the guy from cheating over the board at the Sinqufield Cup to beat the strongest player of all time? And let's not forget that Hans-Moke Niemann was just very recently only at about 2,300, and now he's playing at like a 2,700 level plus level and defeating Carlsen all of a sudden a year and a half later. So this is all just very suspicious from a human perspective, and also from an engine's perspective. When when the top engine moves are being played in these strange kind of lines, or main lines for that matter, even the engine starts becoming suspicious of the human who's playing these moves. And again, guys, there's plenty of content. You guys can check out that Norm if you're interested in finding out about how he's able to achieve such a small centi-pawn loss. Right, so centi-pawn loss is statistically what we look at with the number of moves that are calculated by an engine, guys, to coordinate who's losing more material in the opening based off the moves that are played. And we'll stop there and now look at this game, guys. Okay, because this is the beginning of the controversy. Okay, Magnus Carlsen had the white pieces. I believe this was round 3 or 4 of the Sinqufield Cup 2022, held in St. Louis, Missouri. Magnus Carlsen had the white pieces, guys, and he started the game with d4. So I think that, let's look at it from Hans's perspective. I believe that, the King's Indian defense is something that we're just seeing more and more. I mean, every time d4 is played now, these top-level grandmasters are just playing knight f6 every time. No more d5. We're not seeing the age of the semi-Slav with the Kasparovs and the Kramniks and the NNs. Guys, that's not what's being played anymore at the tippy-top level. At the tippy-top level, what's always being played every single time now is just d4, knight f6, c4, e6, and knight c3, bishop to c4, Nimzo Indian attack. Guys, every single time, bishop to b4, knight c3, bishop to c4, g3 by Carlsen, short castles, and bishop to g2. So this is literally what everybody's playing all the time. And for me, it's kind of sad because it's kind of taking away the element of chess. I don't really think it's that fun anymore. I don't know what you guys have to think about that, but when you keep playing the same line over and over again and you're doing it at the top level, I mean, what does that kind of say about the registry of the game? I mean, chess is meant to be a very open, varied game. That's just my own opinion, guys. Let's not get too carried away on my opinion. I'll stop there. Let's just continue with the game and look at what happened. And in this game, guys, I want to prove to you that, during this end game, I mean, this game goes right to the end game. There's no real middle game. The opening is very concrete, very short, d5, okay? But there is an element of Hans having a better knight in an open position, and the light squared bishop we're going to see for Carlsen, who's playing team white, is at a far disadvantage because Niemann is calculating lines like 30 moves into the future, right? Like an engine. And let's go over that now and find out how he turns this knight into this power piece and ends up defeating that light squared bishop. Guys, we know from our instructionals that bishops are better in open positions and knights are better in closed positions. So why is Magnus Carlsen struggling with his light squared bishop when he should just go to a draw and endgame in this Nimzo Indian attack? Let's find out right now. A3 played by Carlsen, bishop c3, bc3, dc4, and knight to f3. Well, in the interview, guys, after Hans gave like a 20-minute speech and he was trying to defend himself and admitting to his cheating and giving up all his, Yasser Seirawan and Peter Svidler said, "Thank you for your emotions. You just displayed emotionally how you felt about everything. You're a man." So kind of hinting at some suspicion there, but let's keep going. Hikaru Nakamura is also the top blitz player in the world, 2,900 level plus. You guys know about Hikaru Nakamura and how great he is. He is very convinced of Hans-Moke's Niemann's cheating and saying that he should be dealt with. So c5, let's get into it now. Short castles, guys, c takes on d4, queen takes on d4, and not capturing, just knight to c6, furthering development. This is all well known, guys. This line has been played thousands of times. Grandmasters keep playing these main lines because they don't want to lose. They want to prove that they're better, right? It's just their little niche. Right, so let's keep going. e5 was played, bishop to g5, and this is all normal. Now here comes, after bishop to g5, provoking h6. Carlsen says, "I'm going to gain a tempo on your queen." Rook from f to d1, and Hans-Moke Niemann says, "Aha, well, there's this move bishop to e6." And this is already sort of the beginning of where I believe his engine evaluations are coming. Now, it was also mentioned on top of this, guys, boys and girls, that Carlsen's preparation in this game was leaked somehow. So there was some coordination going on between either Carlsen's coach or someone who was involved in the preparation of Carlsen's game in this match. And as a result, Hans Niemann, it said that he was actually configuring his game based off of the information that he got secretly about Carlsen's preparation. So either he knew that he was going to play the Nimzo Indian with d4. Carlsen really does stay true to his Indian games. He's not playing e4 all the time. He never really was like an all-the-time e4 player like Ali Reza or Caruana or Fischer, let's just say. So let's continue. Bishop to e6, rook d1, and now saying, well, you capture my queen, I capture your queen, you take my rook, I take your rook, bishop f6, and gf6. Carlsen saying, well, I achieved something because now aren't there double pawns here on the g file? Right? Carlsen saying, well, I achieved something, I still have my Fianchetto bishop. Maybe these two pieces for black aren't that coordinated, or maybe knight to f3 isn't good. Well, Hans is going to talk to us and tell us that maybe he had this engine line prepared. Yes, rook to d1, getting to the open file. King to e1 played by Carlsen, good prophylaxis. And now, guys, here is where I believe the memorization of the engine lines come, okay? And either using the engine, tapping into Carlsen's game, and I guess just sort of like not fair play, right? But it's such a thin line between what is actually cheating and what is virtually cheating, right? Because we could sit here and say, oh, well, Hans knew his preparation. Well, anybody could know anybody's preparation, and that wouldn't be cheating if you beat someone, right? I mean, aren't there players in sports all over the world that watch other players? They watch their opponents on TV. Their coaches have them, sit down in the locker room and say, okay, this guy plays like this, and this guy does this. You got to study him. Well, that's kind of what's going on here, right? But we need to study the moves moreover. So Carlsen offering an exchange of rooks, Niemann denying going rook to c8, and I think rook to c8 is the start of this like really insane depthy line. Bishop to e6, avoiding the attack, right, on c4 after knight to d2, and now here comes c4, right? Now Hans says, well, I could capture here, capturing with the rook. There's rook to d1, check, king to g7, and bishop to d5 was the follow-up. So Carlsen knows this line. I'm sure most elite grandmasters know this line. I'm sure just most chess players who play all the time probably know this line. Rook to c7 now, defending the f7 pawn as well as the b7 pawn. Carlsen goes to attack the 8th rank a7 pawn. Hans-Moke Niemann plays a6, and now here comes rook to b8. Well, somehow, guys, I mean, I wouldn't know to play f5 here. Right? I think this is very strange. F5? Wow. F5. I mean, it is a classical game, and I get it. I get that it works, but let's keep going. I think well, anyways, let's continue. Rook to e1 now, attacking the pawn, and now here comes e4. Okay, so this is a stronger center for black. Black is up a pawn in this position. So let's go back to where black won the pawn. So Carlsen gives up the pawn here on c4 for initiative, but he doesn't recognize that his initiative isn't really that long last, because after g4, guys, here comes the fishy stuff. Rook to c5, attacking the bishop. Bishop a2. Now knight to c4. Hans wants to get to that juicy d6 square and attack that rook. And that's exactly what he does on the next move. Knight to d6. Rook to e7, attacking b7. Now capturing on g4. Rook to d7, attacking the knight. And now here comes e3. e3, oh my gosh, this is incredible. This is like already, I mean, there's a line that's completely winning here for black. If rook f6, then, all right, rook to c1, and you got to drop that rook back. Takes, and oops. Uh-oh. I mean, what the heck is going on here? That's just GG's. Goodbye, everybody. So, I mean, incalculable. I mean, how much depth do you have to see? I mean, that, again, this is like straight up for me. I know I'm kind of just shouting out my opinion here, but that's like some straight up engine stuff, guys. It's like some Stockfish 12 stuff. E3? Wow, I don't know how much depth you need to come up with this line. This is just insane, right? Just playing not only all the best moves, but all the top line engine moves. Guys, when I go over in my videos and I tell you guys, hey, find the best move for white, find the best move for black, I'm telling you guys, like, what's the best move as in like human moves, right? What's a surprising move? What's an advantageous move? But engine moves prove to be like perfect defense. You have to always be behind. And Hans is making sure that in this game against Carlsen, and he's doing it with the black pieces. Carlsen has lost how many games to opponents with the black pieces in like how many years? What, like 2 or 3? And drawn like hundreds of games. So let's keep going. I'm not sure how accurate that is, but I'm pretty sure that it's somewhat accurate, right? I mean, who else has beaten Carlsen with black recently? I guess that'd be something good to look up, right? Certainly not somebody who was just rated 2,400 a year and a half ago and now all of a sudden just becomes 2,700 in a year and a half. So scary stuff, right? Really creepy. Okay, so we have attacking the bishop, rook to c2, and now Carlsen wants to make a discovered check with bishop to f7. So Carlsen winning the pawn back. Although Carlsen wins the pawn back, he still does have double pawns here, and Hans is going to eat up one of the pawns as a result before the check. So he gets a check before Carlsen gets to throw his discovered check. Now repeating moves, Carlsen offering a repetition of moves, but now king to f6 and bishop to d5. Rook to d2. Well, if you take the knight, I'm just taking the rook, going up the exchange, and I'm up a pawn, so I'm +3 and completely winning there. And so as a result, Carlsen plays, okay, rook to f7 check, king to g6, rook to d7, and knight to g5. Dropping back, throwing another check, but we notice how we can't take here. And here's a very interesting position. You guys might see from the naked eye, if you're not really advanced chess players, that there's a free rook hanging here. It's not really a free rook, guys, because if you look at it and you think about this line, there's a check here on g3 and f3, and that's just going to be GG's and resigns. So how Hans was able to calculate this is like, I mean, it's scary. I mean, the level that he's playing at is like Carlsen level, and he's definitely has not been 2,882 plus since 2013, okay? He just got his Grandmaster norm very recently. So let's go. King to g2, knight takes on d2, a5, king e5, and this is just over now. Black has way too much control over this game. There's 2 pass pawns here on the king side. It's all over. Let's just show what Carlsen played. He's going to capture the 2 queenside bishops, and Hans is going to take on a5, bishop d5 again. And how that light squared bishop was so much weaker than this knight in the endgame is just uncontrollably, I mean, I don't understand it. King e5 was the last move. Now Carlsen wants to trap the knight, right? There's no course for the knight to end up on any square. But after bishop to d5, or king to e5, that bishop has to move. And that's just going to be the end of it. The engine even says that you should just play this because, as we can see, it's all over. Guys, tell me in the comments or whatever what you think about all this. And let's move on in the future forward and learn a little bit about, you know, the ethics of chess, and maybe there is going to be further investigation. Hans says in the interview that, well, I never cheated over the board. I cheated online to get ahead and play some higher rated players, but who knows what mechanisms he had and what sources he had to play with a semi-pawn loss of 3 in this game against Carlsen with the black pieces. Hans was just rated again. I keep saying it over and over again, but he was only 2,300 FIDE just yesterday, 2020. Carlsen's been 2,882 since he was 23 years old, and now he's 32. So 10 years later, he's still 2,860. Guys, thank you for participating and watching. I'm sure you got a lot out of this. You should have gotten educated today about the, controversy and what's going on. I urge you guys to go online and look about what other people are saying and what some of the other discourses people are talking about, so on and so forth. Have a beautiful day wherever you are. This is September 12th, recorded on 2022. And let's go to the future and play fair chess. And if anybody has anything else to say or give some more insights on the situation with Hans-Moke Niemann, the American Grandmaster, very controversial Grandmaster. Let's get together and talk some more. Bye, guys. This is Colin. Much more to come in the future. My own personal games with U.S. Virgin Islands Chess and at home and abroad. Take care. See everyone on the other side. Good luck with your chess online and over the board, guys, and stay happy and healthy. Bye, guys.